Next tool is Spraypaint. So if I push the touchpad, then I get this picker, and I can pick the color and then spray paint. Oh, I'll turn down the blend. Spray paint stuff like that, and that works just like smear. You just hold it down and move around like that. And it makes like oh, if I go into here, you probably see it better. And it makes many cubes, just as the in smear mode did. And you can, by the way, you can press L1 and X on a different sculpt to just start editing that sculpt using whatever tool you still have. So that's pretty useful. For some reason the imp's going a bit funny. And you can add blend to that, which I'll stay down here. Okay. Which you can see blends it, gives it a nice blend. It's good to use the sphere and blend. It gives you a nice kind of a nice way of like touching up the I'll just surface snap the colors and stuff. So also, if you turn down the opacity, that can give you, say I wanted to like soften this into the grey, I can, if I push touchpad to get this again, I can click X on anything in the scene. This is why it all goes colourful again. So I'll grab that colour using X, and then I can like just subtly blend that. Yeah, put that all the way down. So say I wanted to make those less harsh, I can just do a bit of soft blend like that and make it kind of blend in a bit better. That's particularly good for this is a huge tangent. This is particularly good for texturing stuff, because if I grab a cylinder, give it a whopping great big hole, some soft blend, make it very low opacity. Oh yeah, and we need to, okay. That's because it's so low opacity. Let's try, yeah. And we like turn it down and turn the grid off. You can actually rotate things, rotate the shape by just stroking the touchpad, just swiping on it. And if you swipe it, and just leave it, it'll keep spinning. So you can like get a crazy spin on like that, and now just do that, and now you've got some texture, which would make sense if it were more, if you just wanted to like grunge it up a little bit. That's probably like that. And then you have the opacity down and make it really small. So you might want to like make it big and give like a general swipe, and then make it small. Oh, probably want surface snap on. Try again. And stuff like that. So you can like that's a technique for just really quickly adding a load of like texture to it. And because of the hole and the funny shape, it's you can't tell it's cylinders being splattered everywhere. Oh, we got a load of glow from that now. Let's go. There's guides and studio lighting, so if I actually make something so you can see it. So if this is over here, you can see it's being affected by this glow. If you go guides, studio lighting, then lighting stuff doesn't do stuff. So you don't see glow, and it doesn't affect the color of other things. This can be good while sculpting, because then you get like the real colors and stuff. when you tint it with a colour, and it's all the way at 200%, then it overrides what you normally see from the spray paint. If it's at half, or it's actually 100%, then it's blending that tint colour with the spray paint colour, like 50-50, and when it's at 0, then it's just the spray paint colour. Now this tends to be used with coat mode, so then people say, I want that red, so then they make it red. But then they go in here and they say, oh, I want some green stuff, and I want that bit to be green, but they can't see what's going on. That's because of that tint. That tint has been made 200% because you tinted it so much. So one way of getting around that is to turn this down again, and now you can see these green areas. Oh, the saturation went down as well. But another way, if you want to just carry on working in here, is if you go to show and hide and you turn off coat style and effects, and now it just lets you work as normal and paint this carrot red or green. I think we should paint the carrot green. But then be aware that when you go into play mode, oh, we don't need that. Let's turn that off. Go into play mode. Then we find our carrot, our red carrot. It still has that tint because this is just for these settings and stuff are just for edit mode and stuff. So yeah, remember to turn that off when you carry on working, and then if you want to see more of your stuff, do that like so. So these kinds of edits, these shapes and stuff, and even crop and things like that, you can still move objects around very easily, and you can like scale them up, scale them down, rotate them, delete them, and things like that. Now if I grab the spray paint, that shape is always at that spot. It's not applied to this surface, but rather it's like there's an invisible 3D cylinder there hovering out, just hanging out. And if I can move this other edit, you can see how the cylinder starts there and goes all the way up to there. But it's just a 3D object that says anything inside here, make the surfaces red, for like edits that were placed before this spray paint was placed. And you can't like grab that cylinder and move it around. So you could even do, if I just like plonk down some spray paint there, I think, yeah, if I expand that, now you can see it. So if I put it on its side, it starts to appear. Put it on that side even. You can see like the triangular shape. Look. So those just like exist and you can't get rid of them. All you can do is like change the color. So if I changed it to white and try to kind of engulf that area, if I just turn this down with the sculpture detail, it'll let it update a bit quicker. Yeah, like that. So now I can just see the white one because it kind of engulfs the red one. So if you add and grab that color with X, then you can paint over it, and now you can't see And that applies to spray paint. It also applies to looseness. So I made that loose. Oh, it's because that's now like that. The sculpture detail is kind of the minimum looseness. It affects that. So then if you want to actually adjust it to have this tight and other things more loose, you kind of got to start with a tighter sculpture to begin with. Oh, it's the wrong one. That'll help. So it's the same there. If I use the stretch tool, you can see how it's like showing the form of that cone going all the way up to the tip. And if I move it around, it's the same. So what happens to that? Those two right there, basically. So bear that in mind when you're making stuff, and you won't get frustrated by it.